Okay, welcome back. We got another episode of Shenanigans going on, and today we are at the Canadian Tank Museum in Oshawa, Ontario, and we're going to take a tour inside, see what we can check out. It's my first time here.
It's my first time here as well.
Yeah. So apparently all summer they do tank weekends. Most of the vehicles in here apparently are drivable. So during the summer, they have tank weekends where they take them all out and play with them, and you can come and watch and check them all out. So let's go see what they've got inside.
Here we go.
So not only do they have tanks, but if you walk through the beginning, they have what they call a static section, which shows you all like the evolution of, the different types of warfare, uniforms, weapons, lots of informational signs about, Canadian war heroes. Weapon displays, and dioramas. It looks like it's a popular little place. It's getting pretty busy. It just opened. And of course, it is a accredited military museum, so no touching the displays. We got special permission to come in and film today. They don't mind if you take photos and do filming on your phone, but generally selfie sticks, tripods, no flash photography, the usual museum rules.
We guess which one belongs to James Bond.
None of the above. There are no Berettas. Oh, here you go. Beretta.
There's it.
This is the handgun you'll see most often in movies with the Nazi Germans,
Yeah,
the Walther.
that's pretty cool.
I think this is interesting. This is what they gave the troops in World War II to survive mustard gas attacks. It's a mustard gas cape, covers your skin, and then the gas mask and everything, of course. Down below,
I think I saw people trying to wear that recently.
I wouldn't be surprised. I love the dioramas. They're great. And the women,
Well, very important.
yes,
Women did contribute a lot during
yes.
while the men were.
Defense Industries Limited, otherwise known as DIL, was built in Pickering. And that's where they built a lot of munitions for the war. Done by the women who stayed home. Munitionettes.
Yeah.
That's their uniform. So yeah, very interesting static displays, lots of information. But of course, you know what everybody comes here to see.
What?
The tanks.
The tank.
So we're going to go check out the tank area, and I believe we've got a friend who's going to give us some extra information on the vehicles as we go through. Our buddy Rob. We'll introduce you to him in a minute.
So for those of who are a specific genre on the YouTube who love food rations, army food rations, they like looking at and opening food rations, we've come across some food rations here. So I'm just going to zoom in so we can see the lunch menu number 3, which would be macaroni with cheese sauce. Someone threw a Kit Kat in there. That would work too.
That's some interesting info on the top too. These are called IMPs, individual meal packs.
Oh,
And we've been feeding them to our troops since 1981.
there's a good old package of bread. So we're just going to
The
do the information
the
here.
menu features 21 options. You get 7 choices for breakfast and 14 which can be used for lunch or dinner. Each meal contains about 12 to 1400 calories. So you're getting your 3600 to 4200 calories over breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
There you have it, folks. So that's a little tidbit for the foodies out there. We're here at the Canadian Tank Museum in Oshawa, and we're lucky enough to have our own personal tour guide, Rob, here. So he's just going to do an introduction right now. Here's Rob, and listen to what he has to say.
Museum is dedicated more so to the Ontario Regiment, which was formed in 1866 before Confederation.
Yep.
Making it one of the oldest continually serving regiments in Canada. And we're part of that. We've started out as the Ferret Club. Have since,
the little trucks.
Yep, which was a ceremonial troop for the Ontario Regiment. The Canadian Tank Museum is a sanctioned military museum, but we're all volunteers. It's 4 full-time staff that do the logistics. The rest of us are all full-time, part-time, I should say. And we're a family. We have female members and male members, and one of our biggest tanks is driven by a female.
Awesome. That's awesome.
We have unique vehicles out here, 1s and 2s of a kind, from World War I right up until present. We have 180 live vehicles, making us the largest.
Drivable.
What did I say?
You said live.
Yeah.
Well, they're live, drivable.
Yeah, drivable.
And we have every Saturday during the summer, we have our tank weekends. We have unique vehicles out here, 1s and 2s of a kind, from World War I right until present. I think I said that. Some of them are unique and very rare. So
we'll get you to show us those ones first.
We will go out back and I'll show you some of the vehicles.
Perfect.
All right. Let's go. We're heading out back now. We'll see you then. Okay, so Shelly and I have walked into a room where we're seeing lots of really cool tanks and trucks and, motorcycles. That's great.
You're looking at aircraft engine.
So Rob says this is an aircraft engine. I'm going to hand him the microphone so he can explain it.
This is a radial aircraft engine made before the war. It powered the original Sherman tanks up until the Battle of Britain, when they wanted all the aircraft engines to power planes, so they repowered the tanks. But that is an actual engine out of the original Sherman tanks.
That's really cool. And I see Shelly checking out maybe a hobby. She'd like to ride a new motorcycle.
German.
I'll let Shelly.
This is the German motorcycle that they used to use, apparently. Scouting, liaison, and message dispatch. I jumped to it because my grandpa was a message dispatcher on a motorcycle in the war, in the Second World War. He delivered mail, but I didn't realize this was the German one. Still really cool, though. New version featured a passenger seat, a gas mask canister clip, and a mud and snow scraping fin that cleaned the drive chain before it re-entered the engine crank.
All right, that's really cool.
So we start here with one of our World War II Jeeps. This fought with us in Italy. It was brought back, dismantled and brought back because the major got injured. He said, "What?" The driver said, "What do you want with your kit?" He said, "Take care of it." So 1846, he drove this up to Northern Ontario and said, "Where do you want your Jeep?" When he passed away, his wife in Southern Durham region drove it all over the place and painted it pink until it fell apart, and donated it to us. She loved that little Jeep, so she donated it to us. We rebuilt it in honor of the World War II and him and her. The next vehicle is a Bren gun carrier called the Universal Carrier, unique to the British Empire Army, made in Windsor, Ontario.
Shout out when you see the gun. So we can. So what would this gun be called here?
That is the Bren gun.
He said Bren gun. And the gun on top?
That's the Bofors anti-tank.
Oh. Say that one more time.
Bofors anti-tank rifle. They had many different armaments and everything. They call it a universal carrier because it did everything a Jeep did. Carried wounded, carried mortars, carried people, towed vehicles, or the artillery, everything.
That's really cool. Thanks. Okay, now let's move on.
Vehicles. This is the Model T Ford, used as a more or less a motorized horse and wagon in World War I. It is drivable, like everything else here. The tank right in front of us.
Just a quick question on the Model T. Does it still, I see it still has the crank on it. Are we still using the
No,
crank to
this
get
one's
it started?
electric start.
Okay, we modernized it. I bet that wouldn't be a fun job. And I'm just going to take a look inside and check out this. And so this is the Ford Model T. That's really cool.
This next vehicle is a M1917 U.S. made Renault tank from World War I. It didn't get made quick enough to go into World War I, but it was used in Prohibition and stuff. This is one of only 19 left. This one is also a movie star. If everybody watches the movie Sands of Iwo Jima with John Wayne, this is what they used. This one and a bunch of other ones as the Japanese tanks in the movie.
That's really cool.
And it's also in 1940 shipped up to Canada as scrap metal to Kent Borden Foundry because Canada didn't have any tanks and Germany used tanks against Poland. So this is Canada's first training tank. Then we went to Europe and got the more modern ones, but this is what they trained on in Kent Borden with Colonel Worthington, the father of Canadian Armour, to get used to operating a tracked vehicle.
That's really okay.
Pre-war tank. It was 1936. The smallest of it because of the fact that they weren't used to. They was made more or less against the M1917, so it was never used in World War II because it was not armored well enough, and it just had like a machine gun. But they trained with these things. The rest of the vehicles here, you'll see the trucks. They're called CMP vehicles, Canadian Military Pattern Vehicles. The little known fact about these is that's an 11 cab. This is the 13. They had 3 different cabs. This is a Chevrolet. That's a Ford. Everything on the trucks is interchangeable. The Ford was a V8. The Chevys were an inline 6. If you change the motor mounts, the bell housing would connect to the other engine because it has 2 sets of bolt holes. Canada made 880,000 of these for World War II and other vehicles. And the little known fact is Canada made more vehicles for World War II than all the Allies combined. The little radio truck here is made in Oshawa. It's serial number 1. They kept it. And when they closed the main office, they donated it to us. It's fully kitted out as if it was going to go to war, but it never made it because it's serial number 1.
There we go. You're number 1.
Everybody wonders why the CN, yeah,
Oh,
they have carrier pigeons in it.
so here you can see where they would have carrier pigeons. If you're looking for volunteers, I've got a ton out by my place. Pigeons, that is.
This vehicle comes equipped with a bicycle and the carrier pigeons because of the limited range of the early radios. If they were out, they couldn't get there. They'd send the messenger on the bicycle. If the bicycle was gone, they still couldn't get it. They would send the pigeon back to base with the message.
So there you go. It looks like communications in here, either via
Original
radio.
19 set.
Ooh, that's really cool.
We have vehicles in our collection from England, US, Soviet Union, and Germany.
We have a diverse collection of tanks here. That's great.
Soviet T-34-85, which the Russians started using in the Ukraine war.
I'm just going to zoom out so we can see. They're huge. I can't even get it in the whole shot. I'm just gonna, just so you can see how big this tank is, I'm just gonna compare it to Shelly. Shelly, you want to drive one? She'd be a menace. I wouldn't expect anything less. Okay, now back to Rob.
When you see the side here in Russian, it says fighting girlfriend. This is in honor of one of their World War II female aces. She bought a tank, had it knocked out from underneath her. They gave her another one in Russia. I'm not sure where, but there is a monument in her honor.
Right on. The fighting girlfriend from Russia. Oh my goodness.
Next big one is the Centurion tank. That's one of only 6 drivable in the world. Fought in the Korean War and the early part of Vietnam, served in Canada till 1972.
This one's very big. I can't even. The camera's focusing. Bear with us, folks.
Now you said you served for 10 years?
Yep.
And what did you do?
And we're just reconnecting.
I was
You may have
farmer
lost.
corps. Honest,
Did you
Okay.
ever get to drive?
not these.
The little regatta?
And we're back. So we're just going past the Centurion. I think this is the closest I've ever been to a tank. This is crazy.
This next one here is one of our C2 Leopards tanks made in Germany. Canada still use the Leopards. The NATO countries sent Leopards over to the Ukraine war. If you go around here, we can show you inside the turret.
Ooh, we're going to check out inside the Leopard.
Go up here and you look in the little loader's porthole. It's lighted so you can see inside.
Reconnected. Okay. All right. I'm going to hand you my bag. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb up these stairs carefully and check inside the loader. Wow. So this is the little, we're going to go by the hatch. So if you can look inside the hatch, maybe I can poke my phone in and not lose it, hopefully. Oh, wow. So there should be enough for 3 people in here. And we'll go to the top where they would, see, this is where they would hop in the hatch. It's pretty amazing. That's right. I just like to take a moment now while I'm stepping down the stairs that this year in the Remembrance Parade, there's going to be quite a few of these tanks that will be in a convoy, participating in a convoy. And they'll be starting here at the Tank Museum, and they'll be coming up Stevenson Road and then proceeding to the Armory that is at Richmond and Simcoe in downtown Oshawa. So if anything, come out and see the tanks.
Over in the corner here, you'll see the
That was
garage
really cool.
doors open. Part of our restoration area.
Ooh.
We
So-
also have a machine shop. We can't get right with you.
Can you tell us what vehicle is in there now in the restoration shop?
That is our 19, it's either 42 or 3 staff car.
Okay.
That's the high-ranking official rider.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The next vehicle, or next piece around the corner is a German Black 37, the anti-aircraft gun that Rommel used in the African War to fire at tanks because he didn't have a lot of artillery. This thing will fire a shell right through a Sherman. That's why they call it the Deadly 88. In the box is the shell that they fire at tanks.
Okay, so this is something that they would fire at tanks. This is the shell that they would use. And then I'm assuming this is possibly where an operator may sit.
Yeah, there's a 5-man crew. This is the brakeman's position here. The 5-man crew can take it from this position and fire the first round off in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. It looked serious. Mm-hmm. See the size compared to Shelly. That way you can just kind of get an idea of how big some of this stuff is.
Not sure.
Oh,
This next one is a first edition of the Leopard tanks.
and then I'm going to,
This is the first edition, the C1 Leopard tank, the first ones Canadian got out of Germany. They're now using the C2A6. The next vehicle here is a US M151 Sheridan experimental tank. It was air transportable because it's aluminum. The short barrel is that way because it shot missiles. It was a failed tank for Vietnam because it was too easy to knock out. This is one of 7 left drivable in the world. They brought them back and used them for target practice. So we've got one, and they're jealous that we got one.
Right on. And so this was called Sheridan again.
Sheridan.
So this one was made of aluminum, but not so successful, but still usable for target practice.
Next vehicle here is part of the M113 class vehicles. If you notice, the sign says M113.5 because this is a Canadian and Netherlands vehicle, made in the US. They didn't like it. So this is our armored reconnaissance vehicle with a turret mounted 50 cal. And you'll see that it's not on there, but it has a 30 cal on the rear. It's totally enclosed when you're firing the 50 cal. So if you throw a grenade at it, it scratches the paint. But if you do that to the American APCs, they're all open. You can actually kill people. This is the fastest M113 out there. The vehicle I also trained on when I was in the services.
How does she drive?
Perfectly. You scare people up at Camp Petawawa when you pass them on Highway 17. They freak out when you pass them because they're going too slow. This next vehicle is the biggest of the M113 class, M577. You can see inside, you'll see the driver's position. This is the communications vehicle. And it's modified Canadian style. You see the great big bulbs here. These are Canadian armored fuel tanks.
Okay.
Whereas the American version has a tank inside the vehicle. These are also made of aluminum, so we put the tanks outside so you can't bruise them.
Oh, that makes sense. We're just going to take a little peek inside here.
What do they call brewing if you catch fire?
Yeah. Keep getting just there. That way we can see, if you can just look over to the left there, you can see where like the operator of the tank would sit, and then the seat here would be where the communications person would sit probably. Yeah. It doesn't look very comfortable up at that one. Great news. Okay.
Next one is an M113A2 tow missile firing vehicle. It's an M113 modified to fire missiles. And if you noticed on the outside, even in the US, can't figure out why it looks like we have buzzsaws on the side of it. Those are to when you have guy wires across the road for IUDs and stuff, that cuts the wire so you don't get drivers through. Looks like a there's a piece of plywood on the front. There's a turn vane because these things will go across shallow rivers. That says above a boat so it doesn't force water into the vehicle. This next one is made in Weston. That's part of our Grizzly family, APGPs.
Here's the Grizzly. We'll just do quick.
As you can see, it still has a sawtooth on it because the fact everything out there has that. So next vehicle, the British APC. Everybody asks on these, they're not These are smoke cannons. So if you get in somewhere you need to get quickly, you fire these off in the smoke, and hopefully get out of the way. This next one is one of our few more of our private show. It's an armored recovery vehicle, so if you break down or get stuck, it goes to get you when you're under fire.
This is a cougar, but it's locked up, but that's okay. Is it the same basic?
Same basic. This was probably going up the creek.
Yeah. So this one we might see on the Remembrance Parade next week.
This next little vehicle is a Geltis, German Geltis, made in Bombardier in Quebec. But we play with that toys. It's not operational unless it eats oil. That was the vehicle that they first used in Afghanistan, but it's not armored. The IUD blows this thing up into shrapnel. This next vehicle, one Soviet AKC with a small cannon on top of it, carried crew of 3 and I think 8 infantry in the back.
Oh, wow.
You want to go around back to this open so you can see it?
Wow. It is pretty, like, now that we're walking past and seeing how long it is.
These are used by the Soviets in Croatia.
So this was used by Soviets in Croatia. We're going to take a look inside. Oh, it's quite roomy, actually.
Yeah, it's you get people in there. The biggest thing is these are easily knocked out because seat backs, the fuel tank, so the rear door.
Uh-oh. Yeah. So you wouldn't want to be the person in the back.
No. That's good for making bonfires.
Bring the marshmallow.
This next one is a Canadian modified CPC from Afghanistan.
Okay.
They took a bunch of them back to London, cut them in half, stretched them 2 feet, repowered them. If you see up in the driver's position instead of pillar bars, there's a small steering wheel.
I'm just going to go and zoom in here. So if you can see to the very front where they made a small little tiny steering wheel. It actually kind of reminds me of the steering wheel that they used a little bit on the Knight Rider.
Yeah.
On Kit. It's like a little, yeah.
This one also has the British turret on top and the Canadian, what they call Susie rubber track. So if you hit an IUD on a normal track with the pins, you're out of action. But if you only knock half of the piece of track off, you can lit back to base. It's quieter, runs on anything. It doesn't tear up the roads. And it's twice as fast as normal AP. Well, not twice as fast. It's faster than a normal APC. Around the front to show you.
How does it handle on Bloor Street?
Cars don't like it. Cars don't like it. They keep climbing telephone poles or something.
That's
They don't want people.
Mhm. And so we're back on the other side. These are the ones that would come and do mechanical service. On
One is this one here. That one is the support.
okay. Support infantry vehicle. Okay, we're heading outside now. Ooh,
Here's some more of our vehicles. We'll see the M60 right there. U.S. main battle tank.
The yard where you
Yes, this is the yard where you take weekends. The truck you see on the right there is a Scana. That was a test truck. They brought 6 of them over. Didn't like the idea because it's only an 8-ton vehicle, so they scrapped a bunch of them. And they said, "Would you want one?" And I says, "Oh, of course."
absolutely. We'll take it.
When you see the M60 there, I told you earlier that we're a family here. Ashley Mullins plays with that as if she's driving a Jeep.
Mhm. Right on.
On the left here, you'll see the Russian T-72. The cage on top of it was put on top quickly because they use them over in Croatia to screw up the drones.
Okay.
The rest of them are just housing extra vehicles.
That's really
That's
cool.
not all of them either.
Oh, there's more.
This next vehicle here is
It's nicknamed Grumpy.
that is in honor of one of our fallen supporters. Grumpy was one of the original members of the Ferret Club.
Okay.
So anytime you see a vehicle here with a name on it, it's in honor of one of our fallen members.
See, you like something?
This is a Humvee US. As you can see, US loves having open vehicles, like you can shoot the gunner real easy. This big vehicle is a 4-man vehicle.
We're just going to take a look inside. Not touch anything. That's pretty cool.
It's one difference in the way that the Americans build their stuff and the way other countries build their stuff.
I think the way they build them is mainly functional to the mission.
Yeah,
It'd be.
they do up armor these days.
Mm-hmm.
Next vehicle is another one of our universal carriers. Crew hatch inside the controls.
Oh, wow.
This is the controls of an armored or universal carrier.
Hang on one sec. We're reconnecting again. It's the internet going in and out.
So this is kind of like a mix and match.
Everything. It's like a trap Jeep.
Yeah.
And we're back. Okay.
This is the inside look of an universal carrier. This little vehicle is unique because it'll spin around in its own circumference, where most vehicles have a wide turning radius. This thing will spin around and get out of the way real quick.
That's pretty cool.
The next vehicle here is a World War II U.S. Greyhound light support infantry vehicle scout car. You lived in these vehicles like mobile motels. Okay. The next vehicle here is another one of our early Jeeps.
Cash 477.
The next vehicle here is what they call the Priest. It is a mobile howitzer put on a Sherman tank hull. You can go up the ladder and see inside because there's 8 people in there, and everybody has to get out of the way of the gun recoil.
That would not be good.
It's called
Okay.
the Priest because of
Are you going to take a look, Shelly?
it's called the Priest because where the 50 cal is, it looks like a pulpit.
Do you want to do the filming? You want to film? No. Here, we'll let you. Don't fall in.
Hey, I'm losing that. Hey.
Okay. Let's give it a shot. So there's room in here for 8 people. And the main trick is to stay away from this gun because it had a nasty recoil on it. I'm sure possibly you would get concussed or something horrible from it. It's really cool.
Yep, that's the main battle tank. That's the British chieftain
British chieftain.
with the unique camouflage. Everybody thinks the guys got drunk when they camouflaged this. This is urban camouflage from East and West Germany. This tank is actual tank that served as a blockade tank in East and West Germany. Go around the front so you can see the rest of it.
Sure, let's go. Chieftain. Yes, it's quite intimidating.
That come running down.
Oh,
Hard on cars.
it does. It's hard on cars.
Okay, this next one here. Soviet Union. T-54. They are using in the Croatian War.
T-54 from the Croatian War.
They still use it. It was the main battle tank they're still using, and lots of this one is. I think this is a Polish T-54. They used them in a lot of different countries. So this is a Polish one, not a Soviet Union. The Soviet Union made them.
Okay.
And the barrels on the back are extra fuel tanks. They're not. They just.
Great fun.
Oh yeah. But they take them off when they're under fire. So you. But they didn't have a real big main fuel tank. So they use those until they're engaged and they drop them off. The next vehicles over here are 3 of our World War II German vehicles.
So we have some World War II German vehicles here.
That one on the side here is Stug.
Stug.
It's more or less a mobile artillery gun. They did use them against tanks and stuff. This middle one here is a German Hanomag, which is their standard half track. This one was made in Czechoslovakia because after the war, they made them in Czechoslovakia and they rearmed themselves with these vehicles. The next one is the Jag Panzer.
Just the one you see a lot.
This little vehicle was made out on one of the early Panzers, like the 1s and 2s. They took them back, made artillery pieces out of them, tank hunters. That's why you've got the gun on the side. In order they'd hide, fire 2 or 3 rounds, and then move off. They could make 5 of these against a Tiger, so that's why there's lots of them around. Everybody asks why you have black stripes on the left-hand side, because the little porthole there is what the only part of the tank that the driver could see out of. But when you're being shot at, you don't know which one is the actual target. So the vehicle in the corner.
Just quickly, the black stripes, because it didn't come up. I think these are the back. Yeah. That's right next to where the driver. That's the driver hatch. Yeah.
The only vision he has in the whole tank.
Ferret.
Okay, this one you'll see on the side it says UNEF. This one actually served in the Suez Canal in Canada and in Britain and a bunch of other countries. It's a 2-man crew. It's a scout car powered by a Jaguar engine, 5 speeds forward, 5 speeds reverse because it was in behind the lines. Finding out where the enemy is. This is commonly called in the infantry the chicken mobile, because we'd find them and you got to go get them. But you can see inside that the front hatches have the little periscopes on them, so when the hatches are closed you can see, but that's the only vision the drivers had.
Wow.
When you went backwards, the crew commander would pat you on the shoulders and the head, tell you to left, right, and stop. 65 mile an hour forward and reverse, and when you're going that fast reverse, it's scary as hell. I've done it. You look inside, you'll notice that the steering wheel is an odd place because you're sitting in like an easy chair.
We'll take a look inside now. Oh, I've got to go to the side. See if I can slip the camera. We're going to go. So if you can see, it's just right there. There you go. There. That's crazy. Then we'll just basically driving it like this. Show. Okay, so just so you understand how you're driving it, Shelly, how are we driving? Like this. On an angle.
From early part of the war, that's why it has a small cannon and everything, because they didn't. This is an early version of the tanks. This one is the only one of the vehicles we have that is still powered by an aircraft engine.
Oh my God.
They use these out throughout the war. A lot of times at the end of the war, they take the turret off, use it as the first generation's APCs, where you carry infantry into battle. They are still used, I think, in Argentina.
Oh my goodness. There you go. Tanks have.
They do. And we're just going to take a look inside if we can. The M3 Stuart. So here we've got the little gun.
Machine gun.
Little machine gun. And then this. That looks tight in there too.
Right.
And so was this just a single person?
5 people in
5 people were to fit in here.
there. The next vehicle is the last version of the Sherman tank. They call the Easy 8. used in Canada was finally retired from the reserve units in 1972.
I know I'm trying to get it all in. I like to show the treads. And try and see if you can see.
Crew of 5.
Crew of 5 for that. That one looks a bit more roomier. That's really cool.
So that's more or less it, other than I didn't do everything for the T-34-85 because it's called the T-34-85 because it's a T-34 chassis, the T-85 turret. It's the only tank in our collection that has no sprocket. This is a sprocket. It drives all your tracked vehicles, whereas you see on the T-34, it has no sprocket because of the fact to save the tracks. The big road wheels are what powers it, so they take the tracks off and drive it on the wheels. This tank here was knocked out. That's why it's called a T-34-85. You can see across the side here. You'll see falling weld. Welded it back together, put the T-85 turret on it. This tank served from World War II in Manchuria. Right up until 1984, it was a war trophy from the Sudan War.
Okay. Okay, Shelly, so we're heading out. Do you have any final thoughts about the Tank Museum? I'm going to pass the microphone to you.
So, first of all, I didn't realize it was so big. I didn't realize how large the collection actually was. Second of all, I've never been this close to a tank. They are big boys. Third, I definitely want to see them in action. So I think I'll be coming to a tank weekend next summer, just so I can see these big boys roll through the mud.
So come out and support the museum. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. We're going to put a link below so that way you can see where to come see it. And just a reminder on Remembrance Day, which is November 11th, they are going to be having a convoy going from this museum. It's going to travel down Stevenson Road to Adelaide, and it will wind up at the Armoury on Richmond and Simcoe. And so at around 10:15, 10:20, that's when the parade starts for Remembrance Day, where they march down to Memorial Park. So you'll also see a convoy and tanks included. It's going to be really cool. So if you can, try and come out and see it, okay? Bye-bye now.